Asian Americans' concerns and interests. We are not allowed to talk about party politics, but my Republican hero, Mr. Lincoln, or President Lincoln, just joking at. How many of you have voted in the past 5 years in the local and state elections? Raise your hand. Good. Most of you are exercising your civil rights. Going to introduce yourself, talk about yourself only within 1 minute. Starting with your name, your country origin, your profession, business, or organization. What is the most important issue that you're concerned about in your community? I will give you an example. I introduce myself. My name is Wen Beatty. I came from southern China. I am a CPA working as a corporate tax manager at Agribank. My major concern in our community is our hardworking children have to meet higher standards than other ethnic groups when they are applying for college, so that unjust treatment to our children. I think equality of opportunity education, that's my passion.
Hi, my name is Ed Kaleo. Looking at some faces here, I see some familiar faces, and it's glad to see. I'm glad 1972, did 33 years, retired with the U.S. Navy, former city of Jacksonville employee. You heard that, former, and retired. But anyway, I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. So what's an issue that I got in my mind or what I'd like to see? Well, first of all, I like to use the numbers of what the Asian Americans is all about. Okay, with over, just for example, with over 28,000 Filipino Americans here, to add up with all the other Asian Americans, I want that number to be somewhere out there in the pedestal or top, where we are known not only by every politician here.
Since 2009, I believe, with the Cambodian American Community Services here with Paul, and with the Mayor's Asian American Advisory Board with about 3 or 4 people here. One of the issues that I have is it's the same thing that NAAPAC has been talking about, or 80-20, I should say. And we see all the studies that have.
This is Paul Archer. I represent Cambodia, and I'm also on the board of the Mayor's Asian American Advisory Board. The only concern that I have for our community is that I know of every time when we have the voting, the voting times, the election coming up, a lot of people are not. I wouldn't say they're not educated, but they're not coming out to vote.
I'm Johnny, and I was born in China. I immigrated to the United States at the age of 8 with my family. At the time, only speaking the first 3 letters of the alphabet, A, B, and C. We haven't gotten to D yet. So I came here, I was in the ESOL program, and I had to learn English pretty much from the scratch. So I got into.
But we are here because of Asia. So, but overall, the Republicans have certain good points. So we could support some people in politics, if they are good for the community.
Right.
But overall, I've been very happy.
We'll stay here with my husband.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Opal Hawk. I am Australian, but my parents are from India. We came here a few years ago by an immigration law, but one thing we would like to have changed is the immigration law, some people aren't very nice to us because we're from a certain country
Yes.
and we're a certain religion.
Yes.
So I want the government to change that so we can be tolerant.
Correct.
My name is Shifali.
Mm-hmm.
I came from Australia, Australian citizen, and I came in 2011, and I'm working.
My name is Ainul Haq. I am from Australia too, with my family, with 4 children and my wife. A lot of people here, they do not understand. When I say I am from Australia, you're not Indian? No. So I ask, do you know where Australia is? Oh no, somewhere down under. Yeah, but where it is? Oh no. They don't know. So the ordinary Americans.
Organization, I work for University of Florida. I'm a college professor there. What is the single most important issue that I'm concerned about is my daughter, my children. They are discriminated against when they want to go to school because of their origin. I share with your concern, and I want to get the affirmative action removed. The other concern I have is Florida has last election.
My name is Jin Su. I work at NAAPAC. I come from China. One biggest concern for me is from observing my friends, all of their kids consider themselves as American, but because their appearance, no Americans actually think they are American. I think we should change this by participating in politics. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Sarat Kuravi. I'm originally born in India. I came here as a student and I've adopted this country since then. I take active part in the Indian organizations. I'm the chairman of the board for Indo-US Chamber of Commerce. I'm the president for ACL, which is a non-profit organization. I've done a couple of other things before, but anyway, I'm excited what you guys are doing. You know, this is one thing that I always thought we should have, so that we can band together. So good luck.
Thank you.
Do whatever.
Hi, I am Parag and I have been in Jacksonville since 2005. Professionally, I am working with Anthem Education and marketing over there, and I also represent Indian Cultural Society.
Hi, Dia. I'm from Tallahassee, and thank you very much for inviting me here. It's a great pleasure to be here tonight to talk about what NAAPAC is all about. But I came here as a student, then I went to Florida State University, got my master's and PhD in economics, and now I'm currently at work for 3 administrations as the lead economist for the state of Florida, doing all the economic projections, basis for the entire state budget. But I've been involved with a lot of things, particularly community, particularly with the Asian American community.
My name is Redwan Chaudhary. I am from Jacksonville, born and raised in Bangladesh. And the reason I said I'm from Jacksonville is what Parag says, when people ask, where are you from? Well, by just looking at it, you can tell obviously I'm not born here or raised here, and with my wonderful heavy thick accent. So I always say I'm from Jacksonville, but born and raised probably in Bangladesh. I came as a student and I am here. But my reason actually is to get involved in the community activities as the disparity, as the discrimination is silently taking place within Asian and American communities. So I want to talk about it and talk about it a little bit more. I don't want to go into that, but mainly I think particularly justice delayed means justice denied. So we want to have the equal opportunity. We're not asking for preferential treatment, rather than just asking for our fair share of the market. Thank you.
Ajaz Sheikh. I've been living in Jacksonville for about 10 years. I came to the United States about 16 years ago. And I'm very much excited about the work that Alpha is doing in this particular space because I come from the country.
My name is Zahirul Qadir. I'm very new here and I migrated from, actually I'm from Bangladesh, but spent 32 years in Dubai. And I really like this country because I spent 32 years in Dubai.
My name is Goichi. I'm originally from India. I'm here in the US from the last 10 years. I worked in a bank as a teller manager. My biggest issue is the everyday dealing. I see my colleagues, lots of students and lots of people, we put so much effort to learn American way. And also it's not ever enough. And the biggest thing what frustrates me is not a single American, either it's a manager or it's a co-worker, or even sometimes frustratingly professor teachers take any interest in non-Americans knowing about us, our culture, or anything. They definitely make fun of our thick accents, as you say. They definitely make fun about our cultures and certain things why we do, but they do not take any interest. As per my understanding, I feel
been in law enforcement for 25 years, and which consists of also married with 2 children. It's my lovely wife, Andrea Cummings. It's going to be Dr. Andrea Cummings. Former military police supervisor, worked at the State Department for several years with the top secret clearance.
I'm Andrea Cummings. I am also an avid educator. I'm a principal. I work with students with specific learning differences, so that's where my heart is. Students, special needs students, and special needs come from everywhere. My school is the Paul School of Northeast Florida. It's on the south side of Jacksonville. Something that is also important to me, I would say, education and having or giving highly qualified people opportunities.
My name is Mukhtar Muhammad, and I'm from China, and I'm just kidding. But I want to let you know how honored I am to be here tonight to receive the invitation. I received the invitation from the Vice President of Taiwan. I made my home here in Jacksonville in 1992, originally from New Jersey. My last duty station here was the United States Navy, so I want to thank all of you who have served also in the military and service there. Anybody who served before me, I say thank you, because I didn't see a day of combat, all served in peace. That's because of you guys. Thank you very much. I am so happy to be here because by being here just a short period of time, I've heard you. The comments I've heard show me that we're all from the same place. I love to hear the aspirations, the dreams, the problems and issues that we're facing as citizens here in
Florida. Can you imagine our power here as Asian Americans if we just unite together as one? Instead of doing our own little things, Filipinos, Indians, Chinese doing their own little things, they're just gonna laugh at us. I work at the Capitol over there, Tallahassee. I have never seen an Asian American representing the Asian American issues there. I have never seen an elected official who is Asian Americans who would at least represent us. Land law was promulgated in 1926 in Florida, where basically the Asian Americans who at that time were not qualified to become U.S. citizens were basically not allowed to own properties here. Other states in the country, in fact, adopted that policy. That policy was started in California, where it was intended really to discourage Japanese from owning property. You know, the Japanese are so hardworking, and the local bosses growing ethnic group in the country right now is actually the Asian Americans, faster than the Hispanics. Although we only constitute 5%, but the growth rate is so fast. Not only in the United States, but also in Florida, we have the fastest growing population here among all other ethnic groups, Asian Americans. At the same time, it's a very, very affluent group, having a very high income. But one thing that we need to do is to get involved in the community. You know, we need to send, that's why we're doing this, Gwen and I and Radwan and all these guys here. We're not paid to do this. I drove all the way from Tallahassee, get involved in this. They asked me to come. Can you talk about it? And I said I will. You know, we're not paid to do this, but we're doing this actually for the Asian community as well as for the future of our children. For the future of our children. So that our children will have that kind of opportunity just like anybody else, regardless of race. And to be honest with you, by 2030, this country is, the majority of this country is going to be these people here. America is browning, whether we like it or not. It is. Yeah. And I agree with you that to have a say, you have to have representation, and I fully agree with you when you said that. because that's what I want to see in state government. Because even in the state level, we need to increase the percentage of Asian Americans working for the state so that these guys will have a say in making policies for the state. And I realize this, being there both politically. The problem with Asians right now is that as long as we are doing well, as long as we have nice houses, as long as our income is higher than everybody, because I tell you, the Asian Americans have the highest income per household in this country, higher than anybody. And it follows this, the highest like the Indians, second the Filipinos, then the Chinese. That's basically what it is. If you compare our average household per income, among all other races, among all other groups, we do have the highest. But the problem is that despite this power of resource that we have, we don't use them. Because I think it's really part of our culture when we say, well, as long as I'm doing well, my kids are going to nice schools, I've got a big house, I've got 5 cars, 6 cars, 6, I've got good business, and you take care of politics. We shouldn't do that. Because if you want a piece of the pie, and I have something from what I said, but it's really very important for us to join NAAPAC, and I really encourage everyone to please join this and support this. Who's going to do it? Nobody's going to do it for us. We have to do it ourselves. Unfortunately, having been involved with 80-20 as well as Ed, and they are members of 80-20, and they're officers of this, and they're very, very passionate about this. Radwan and Gwen and Jat. He said, let's encourage people to join this. And people may think, oh, is that just a Democrat, arm? No, that's not true. Because even NAAPAC, in fact, at 80-20, the mother organization, supported some Republicans too, and we lost, some of the elections. But the whole idea there is that to support, to deliver a black vote to the candidate that we support, to make sure that he in fact helped us. I mean, it's quid pro quo. It's like you're actually buying access to these politicians. That's what it is. You're buying access to these politicians, that these guys are going to support the issues that are important to the Asian Americans. I hope, but I really encourage you to join NAAPAC, because without you guys, without the members, new members coming in, it's very, very hard for the organization to survive, especially the fact that this is just a new organization.
Professor Thomas Aspinshade said in order for Asian American students to be accepted in elite college, the average SAT score must be 140 points higher than white, 270 points higher than Hispanic, and 450 points higher than black. Maybe when I'm giving you this number, some must be thinking, hey, we don't believe that. It's happening in this country, means a kid who has a higher SAT score is not getting admission in the good universities, and the kid who has a less qualification and he's getting admission. How? It's not possible. But ask those kids who are facing this problem. I know one kid, he was from Stanton. He was rejected from Atlanta, Georgia Tech, and other student from same class got admitted, and he was so surprised. He has lower grade than me. He has a lower SAT score. How he can be admitted? Nobody knows how they are doing. That's right. This is a graph. See, from 1990 to 2011, right? These are all Ivy League universities. Harvard, Penn, Princeton, Yale. All these universities are maintaining same number of students for last 20 years. Right? They are maintaining, okay, we want to give only 150 Asian students admission every year. So how you will do that? They have some formula. Okay? And in last 20 years, the Asian population in this country raised a lot, but still admission to the Asians are same. This the dotted chart, this dotted line is showing how many Asians are applying for in these universities. So see the number is almost double from 30 to, it's going up, but admissions are same, right? The other chart, which is actually color is not there, it's a Caltech chart. This university is not discriminating on a color or any race basis. See the graph. They just doubled in 20 years. But Harvard, Yale, and Princeton, they are maintaining the same number. How they are doing? They have the same formula. Don't you think it's an injustice? Miss, what's the fault of a kid who is working hard and getting good grades and high score in SAT, still he will not get the admission because he is Asian?
May I interrupt you? So you see the outliner, the dotted line is the number of Asian American students increased over the 10 years, from 1990 to 2011. But the admission level is almost flat. The number of Asian Americans in those schools almost the same. Never changed in 10 years. The outliner, the black line on the top, is a UC Berkeley, California. So the school does not have the policy that Asian Americans have to meet the highest standard in order to apply for the school. Pretty much it's colorblind. See the Asian American students every year is going up. That's the chart can tell you the unjust treatments to our children over the 10 years.
See how passionate she is. She cannot believe that, okay, this is happening with our kids. With this chart, you can understand what injustice our kids are facing. See the population, education, doctorate, we are 250%. See the national average. We are way higher than the national average. Any level, you can talk of master degrees, bachelor degrees, PhDs, everywhere we are higher than average American. But what is the result? Let me show the next one. When we came for the promotions, when we come chances to raise in the management, we are not getting. You may be a PhD holder, but head of the department will be some white guy, like some other guy. You are Asian, we will not give you this. See this Asian, how low they are. In the federal government, they are probably very low. In the private sector, they are a little bit higher, but not to the national average and to the other communities. And maybe some of us face this problem in their career, may not be, but it's happening. It's happening in this country where we feel, hey, everything is so fair and it cannot be there. At this rate, it will require 3 generations for Asian Americans to achieve their. Do you think it's acceptable?
Please welcome Ramon.
Everybody better start getting in the line for food because I have 6 pages speech. So you can start in the line again, food is still hot. But in all seriousness, thank you everyone for coming. It has been a pleasure, and thank you all of you who just joined, and the rest of you who didn't. I'm sure by the time I finish, because door is locked, so in order for you to get out, it has to be a membership. There's some stipulations we signed up with this masala restaurant, and that's the reason they donated the food. So we thank them for their contributions. We take very little. Again, I want to thank you everybody for coming. I'm not going to go through my 6th page. I just want to share a very small personal story why I'm here. Clyde eloquently addressed why we should be. Rajat did on his PowerPoint, and you talked very eloquently as well, why we should join. But I'll tell you why I joined, and maybe perhaps all of you can relate to it. I'm very well off. There are 7.118 billion people in the world as of this morning. I took the recent statistic from the United Nations. Out of 7.118. Out of 7.18, 3.8 billion people lives with $2.50 a day. $2.50. I spend somewhere around $8 to $9 a day for lunch. Most of us do here in this way. If not every day, at least twice a week or 3 times a week. So when I first started, I looked at it myself. I'm very well off. I'm driving luxury. There's a lot of things that I have that 3.8 billion people in the world that cannot even dream in their life. So I said, why can I not do something? I'm not going to be able to solve all the problem, obviously. I don't have the capacity or the manpower or the financial strength. But I can probably contribute a little bit in a different way. So I started working with a non-profit organization, contribute whatever I can. And then became involved with a lot of different boards. And then finally, actually Jay is the one first introduced me to 80/20. And then I became a member. I liked what they do. It is the Boys Foundation. Yes. So I ran elections to go to a convention in California right before 2008 election. The way the convention works, I like the idea. They have a very strict stipulations. 11 Republican, 11 Democrat, 11 Independent. And that's the criteria. All 33 members go in a closed-door conversation for 2 days. Why was that? And Dr. Lean as well. And that's when I met Wayne Wright. And they all talked about passionately why they are supporting candidate A or candidate B, whether a Republican or Democrat. All 33 members, including the independent. Everybody signed the pledge before they go to vote in a state vote, regardless who support. I support Democrat or I support Republican or I'm an independent. Whatever the decision those 33 people make, that's the organization's decision, and everybody is going to support it. And that's the agreement they all pledge that everybody signed. So I like the concept because everybody has a fair share of their voice that they can raise, whether you're Republican or Democrat. So I said, this is a good organization. Maybe we can do something. So we started our conversation and started to do a local chapter in California at a breakfast table with Clyde and Lee and Wayne. And when we came here, that's exactly what we did. So going back to why I started, beside that, I said, all these people, again, I look at all these statistics saying, we push our children so hard. I don't have any children, but my brother does, my friends does, my neighbor does, the people that I know, people that I hang out with and spend my weekend with. Why they push their children so hard to study late at night, wake up early in the morning to study hard, to do their homework. But then, when they go to college, they have to have a 427% higher score than the other ethnicity. And that is a silent discrimination that is not been acknowledged. I said, this is not right. I don't have children today, but I will tomorrow. And if I do, I don't want my children to go through the same path. So I'm going to do everything in my power to pave the path so that my children don't have to have this type of conversation. That's exactly why I got involved. I do not care if any of you are Republican or Democrat or Independent. What I do care personally is it issues not happening to me, but is it happening to Clyde? Is it happening to Wayne? Or is it happening to you? Or is it happening to somebody that you know? If the answer is yes, I guess all of us, without a second thought, should be a member and support this organization. Thank you.
If we do have more questions, I want to go to a conclusion session.
How's it work? Jacksonville, I've been here since '72, but the thing about it is that one thing I learned being vice chairman of Northeast Florida Barium Council, we make sure that the
Want to ask question or have any comments, concerns?
I can make a comment actually because I've heard Rajat speak very passionately and Dr. Hero, it was a pleasure listening to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's all very new to me and like the doctor mentioned, I've heard leadership positions for the 501c3 organizations where the focus is either on culture or the business. And as you rightly said, typically we are happy, we made it, we are here, we have a nice house, we have a car, more than one car, and our kids are going to public schools or private schools, decent public schools. But what I think Dr. rightly mentioned is that we need to make sure that we get our piece of the pie. I think that's a very positive thing. And we need to make sure that we have the representation. Now, Rajat is a good friend of mine, but I see things slightly different. And I want to make this point because some of you might see differently, some of you might see the same view. Whether you're outraged at the discrimination or not, you might be thinking that you're having a nice life, or maybe you haven't faced the discrimination. why do I worry about somebody else? You know, discrimination is everywhere in the world, not just in America, right? So even if you think like that, whether you're being discriminated or not, I think you need to have a voice, a unified voice, to make sure that the policies that are put in place by the government are to the benefit of you, your brethren, your next generation, your future generations, your current generations. And the people who make the policies do not understand unless you present a unified voice. You need to make sure that you can communicate what your concerns are, what the community is concerned with, because somebody else will not understand unless you express it. And there is no other way to express this other than that.
And that's exactly, what the reply talked about, the Rajat talked about, engage in that power blog post. So when we talk, it's not individual. Let's say, Parag is running for an election. If I go to talk to Parag, he's going to look at who's behind me is empty. One person, not very concerned. But if I have 2,000 or 20,000 behind me, Parag is going to take a second guess. I better listen to him, otherwise it might be a risk for me on his election. So that's what we're trying to create. When you go talk to the politicians, they are not looking at it, all those 20,000 people behind me are a legal entity to vote or not. They are looking at it, you have a powerful voice. And that voice translates to money. Because it's all of us donating $5 is going to turn into a huge number instead of one individual donating $5. And that's exactly what we're trying to do.
I'll tell you one example. Before we formed the Asian Coalition in Tallahassee, we were not recognized. Then they formed this big group in Tallahassee now. And since they know that, I led the group for a long time, they come to us. A lot of these politicians come to us and say, can you help us, by the way? I said, what? Okay, what can you offer, by the way? I mean, I'm pretty smart now and say, what can you offer to this group in Asian Americans? Okay, can you support us on this, the alien land?
Also, I like to invite everybody that's not a member yet to become a member. And also, when you become a member, membership for your whole family. I'm a member, my family is a member at 80/20, they don't even know what's 80/20. So.
You don't need to know,
they
just
don't
sign up.
even know that they're members.
We'll tell you later.
But the thing about it is the number, when you sign.
See, this is a national Asian American. Does that mean it's over USA?